So I have had a lot of people asking me in the past week how I have been doing the embroidery in the center of my snow globe ornaments that I've been showing on Facebook. And I do have an embroidery machine. I've got the Brother SE400 and I love it. But the fonts that are pre-installed are kind of boring. It does have I think 3 or 4 different fonts, and then it also has some pre-made designs and stuff like that. But you can also connect it to your computer through a USB cable, and so through that I have been playing around with some different fonts and designs, and I wanted to show you what I've been doing. And the software that I've been using is called Embrilliance Essentials. And that's made it a lot easier for me to put together names and dates and things like that for using in my ornaments. So let me just open up the software. And this is a blank canvas for me to start with. And this is my hoop. So the hoop for my machine is a 4x4 sized hoop. And if yours is different, then you can go up here to this folder, and that's the preferences folder. And then under hoops, you can adjust your hoop size. And then just click apply and OK. Now keep in mind that this hoop size is not the size that I want my design to be. My design is going to have to be a lot smaller so that I can fit it on my 3-inch size snow globe ornament. Alright, so I have a calligraphy font that I purchased on Etsy that I really like, and it is right here. So I've got all of the files for this alphabet in this folder where I've saved it. And you can see that all of the letters are different files, which means that in order to create a word, I have to piece together all of the different letters in order to form the word. So I am going to spell out a name that I'm working on. I'm actually doing a custom ornament for a little girl named Kaylin. So there's my capital C, and then I want to find my lowercase a. And then all you do is you just drag everything here onto your canvas and then move it around to where you want it to go. Pretty easy peasy. This particular alphabet also has a couple of variations of some of the letters, so you can kind of play around and pick different looks. It's a really pretty font. The only problem that I've had with it is that it's very big, I guess because of all the little scrolly things and everything. So I'm having a hard time getting entire names to fit in the space that I want it to fit. So what I've done to get around that, because I still want to use parts of this font because it's so pretty. So what I've done is I am combining fonts sometimes. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I am going to actually go ahead and delete this. Oh, and I forgot the E. Forgot how to spell her name. I'm going to go ahead and delete these two anyway. So I selected them up here in this list of elements, and I'm going to click delete, and then it's gone. Okay, so I'm going to use a different font for the rest of her name, and this is another way of adding text that I'm going to be showing you. So if you look up here, you'll see this A, and I'm going to click it, and it's going to give me a new text element. Embrilliance comes with some fonts that are pre-installed in the software, and this is one of them. This is called a block font. And you can change this font by coming over here to letters, and then you'll see a text box. And this is where you can enter in the words or the letters that you want to use. Okay, so I'm going to enter the rest of her name and then click set, and then now there you go. So I'm going to move it over a little bit here and make it look nice. But I don't like the font. So if you see right here underneath the text box, you'll see where it says font. And there is a drop-down menu, and then you can choose a different font. Now, all of these fonts that you see here, most of these I added myself. They didn't come with Embrilliance. These others I have found through shopping on the internet. And the thing that you need to remember is that these are a particular file type that will allow you to add them into this Embrilliance software so that they show up here in this drop-down. That calligraphy font that I was showing you a second ago, this letter C and then those other letters that I had put on here, they do not come in the correct font type that you can use to have them show up here in this drop-down. That's why I had to drag all of those letters onto here separately as individual files. If you want to get a font that is going to show up here in the software, then you need to look for a BX font file. And there are lots of people who are making their fonts available in this BX font file. And actually, let me just show you what I'm talking about. I'll show you how easy it is to install a new font into the software. So this is Tickled Pink font, is one that I just got the other day. And you just want to find the BX version of the file. So you'll see that this is how it comes. They give you all these different file types. The PES is the one that I had used for that calligraphy. I want the BX though for this. So I am going to just choose my size and then drag it over here. Just drag it right onto the canvas, and then you'll see that the font has been installed, and you can just go ahead and click OK, and then that will make it appear in this list. So it's super easy. Now that is not the one that I want to use right now. I am going to use this Corinthia. Whoops, and you have to make sure that it is selected, otherwise it doesn't change. So I'll go back and do that again. There it is. Okay, and that is much too big. I'm going to reduce it down, and I have found that some of these will reduce and some of them won't. This is one of the ones that looks pretty good even after it's reduced. It'll change the stitch count when you mess with the sizes, so it's kind of best not to do that if you can get away with it, but this particular font has worked out well. I've already stitched it out a couple of times after I've reduced it down. So okay, so I'm happy with how that looks, other than the fact that this calligraphy font is kind of straight up and down, and then this font is a little bit slanted, and so that's not really working together. So I'm going to change this a little bit, and you want to go back to letters, and then you'll see down here you've got some options of things that you can kind of play with. So we're going to play with the slant, and I'm just going to adjust these letters a little bit so they look a little bit nicer with that C. Actually, I think I like that. Okay, and then I want to move this over a little bit more. Okay, awesome. Now, what's cool about using these fonts installed in Embrilliance like this is, even though you are able to type out words like normal and you don't have to drag all those individual files over into the canvas, you can still individually adjust letters if you want to. So you can see how each of these letters has this little green square over it. If you click on one of them, it'll let you adjust just that letter, which is pretty cool. So you can move it around if you want to. You can change the color of this thread if you want to do different colors for the different letters. You can pretty much just be creative and then do whatever you want. Okay, and let's just add one more thing. I've got a little bow here that I'm going to add. Just like the alphabet, you can just drag things right on to your canvas and then move it around. All right, that's so cute. Now this is almost in the center of my hoop, but you can select everything, and then just to make sure that it's in the center, you can click this button here and it will center everything up for you, so that way when you stitch, it'll be in the middle of your hoop. And then one other thing, if you want all your letters to be different colors, which that's something I've actually been doing. I haven't been doing like crazy different colors, but I've started maybe the first letter with, like, for example, a dark pink, and then a slightly lighter pink for the next letter, and then a little bit, even lighter color for the next color. And I've been kind of doing that, and it comes out really cute. If you want to do that, then you'll want to change these individual colors by clicking on them, clicking on that little green square, and then coming over here under color, and then just changing the color. So you can actually select the colors that you want to use if you want to, because they have a whole list of different types of colors and different brands of embroidery thread. I don't really bother with that. I just pick anything that's different from each other. That way the sewing machine knows to stop in between of every letter and let me change the thread. And then I just pick my colors at the machine, so I don't really bother worrying about picking exact colors in here in this software. Okay, so pretty easy. That looks terrible, but you get the idea. So I'm going to go ahead and save this now. I'm just going to save it as her name. And then click save. And what this did was make 2 files appear on my desktop, and the one that I'm going to use on my machine is this .pes file. That's the file that my particular sewing machine takes. And I've already got my sewing machine connected to my computer, and this is the drive right here where it says no name. For some reason it comes up no name on my Mac. So I just need to drag this over here onto my drive, and now that will appear in my sewing machine. And I know you can't see that, but right here in front of me is my sewing machine, and it is now, this design is now appearing on my sewing machine ready to sew out, which is completely awesome. I'm in love with it. So you can do names, dates, you can do monograms for weddings. There's just so many different things that you could do. Okay, so I hope that that was helpful. I will, like I said, put the links to these different fonts that I've used down below the video for you in case you want to check them out. And I'll also put the link to this software below. And the software is $150, and the one that I have is called the Embrilliance Essentials. But if you are interested in doing the personalization, customizing your ornaments, it's awesome software. I know $150 is nothing to sneeze at, but I love it so far. I think it was really worth it. Or you might be like, heck no, I am not going through all that trouble. I am also going to have some custom embroidery pieces available on my website if you would like me to make something for you personalized, and then you can use the embroidery piece to make your own ornaments. That's something I will hopefully have added to my shop pretty soon. Okay, so let me know if you've got any questions about any of this, and thanks for watching.